Hello, and welcome to the Premium Valuation Approach, where we focus on the strategize section of the process. Strategically planning your exit and having all of the primary elements in place before you go to market has a great opportunity to increase your value, possibly even more than any negotiation strategy does. The reason is because when you go to market, you'll actually have a better business. Some of the topics we're going to talk about are the owner and business strategy action items you need to have in place, the strategic finance action items, what you learned about from buyer research, and what you've done from a corporate development and maximizing value or scaling perspective. Okay. The first thing is that if you work in any of the programs that we teach or any of the educational programs that we offer, or if you work directly, you recognize that there is a defined approach to getting to market and having all of your items in place. So for some of you, this will be a review, and other people, you'll be putting it together for the first time. The key point is, even if you've gathered this information up over time, the go-to-market timeframe is the last final bit before you actually communicate your story externally. So you want to review all of it and really make sure, as I like to say, it all ties off together. First of all, review and finalize your pre-go-to-market checklist and make sure that your data room is up to date. You've done a lot of it before, but now let's make sure that all of the latest numbers and the story is in there. Second, make sure that you have an understanding enough about buyers to have some realistic expectation of what your transaction might look like. Third, and this is critical, don't slow down your growth of new products being released under some notion of what I'd call a historical way of thinking of trying to maximize profit and maximize add backs at the expense of growing the business. Because whatever it is that you save in terms of no launch costs, you tend to lose by not having anything in the pipeline and being able to maximize the multiple that you get for the business. Plus, if you don't exit the business, now you're stuck, that you've slowed the ball and you have to get it started again. And then finally, make sure that your accounting is strong and verified. It's not that it's just on an accrual basis, but you also have an independent third-party verification of the core valuation items, such as your COGS costs and shipping, whether that be an outside bookkeeper or whether it be a CPA or something along those lines. If you think about the premium valuation approach that we look at, here are all of the different phases that we have, and we're going to focus in this one on the strategize phase. Here's an example of a go-to-market prerequisite checklist. We're not going to go through all of the items in the checklist, but we are going to talk about the different phases and what those core objectives are. In the owner and business strategy section, the real core objective is to understand what your goals are that you're setting for your exit, and then build your business in the right way to give you the best chance of exiting. And that means having your corporate structure in place, and it means having your data room set up so that all of the information that you store about your company is actually stored in the folder structure that the buyer is going to eventually need it. The second one is the strategic finance section. You need to not only have your accurate historical accounting in place, but also model your business future. And don't just model it in one scenario, but model it across multiple scenarios, the cash that you need in order to achieve it, and really have an understanding of what the potential is of your business alone and in combination with a buyer that might have some more resources. And then don't forget in the strategic finance section that compliance is huge, because the number one question that a buyer has to ask is, what if things go wrong? Not how good can things possibly go? The next one is to then take a look at the learning about buyers section. And what you want to do is you want to start thinking about, how are buyers going to assess and value your business? And then how can I build my business to create different types of things, such as more sellability, more repeatability, more defensibility, and other types of capabilities that are unique to me to drive a premium valuation for my business? And then the final part of the strategize section is to really focus on scaling and maximizing the business, which involves looking at all of the bottlenecks that you have, prioritizing them accordingly, and then setting forth your capital strategy today so that you know how much money that you've raised, whether it be through debt or equity, and then decide how you're going to set your capital strategy going forward and expand on the 3 typical bottlenecks that you have. It's either a capability bottleneck, it's a capital bottleneck, or it's a team bottleneck, and set that plan in motion before you go to market. That may last anywhere from a month to 2 years or even more, but make sure that you're on a good trajectory before you go to the market. Okay, once you have your capital in place, your team in place, and your capabilities in place, you have now completed the strategize section. You've put all of the information into your data room. Let's talk about the last key point, and that is have the results and have your trajectory be positive rather than going in on a negative into the marketplace. This video was a little bit of a recap of all of the items that you needed, but it's absolutely critical. How critical? I like to think of it as the old Sun Tzu quote says, if you're going into battle and you're preparing your business for going to market, remember that every battle is won before it's ever fought. We've walked through the strategy side of the premium valuation approach and recognize that if you have all of those items completed and you've created a scaled positive trajectory for your business, you are now fully armed to go in to maximize the transactional value for your company. Thank you.